Okay, so good morning everybody. I am Instructor DeWoody. I will be your professor for this next quarter. This is going to be short and sweet because I am incredibly embarrassed to be making a video for you. I wish I could be with you today. Unfortunately, I have to be at a training. I tried to get out of it. It was impossible. So for today, my lovely assistant, Professor Freeman, is going to be helping me today. She'll be passing out your syllabus, so she should have already. You and I are going to go over your syllabus together, talk about the expectations of the course. Then she's going to take roll, and you guys will be dismissed, and we'll start with Chapter 1 next Tuesday, okay? So, just quickly, on your syllabus, you'll see that the first page is a letter from you to me. From me to you. I'm going to go ahead and read it to you, okay? It says, "This class is not an easy grade. You are going to be exposed to new ideas that will affect your view of the world. I expect you to make it to most of the class sessions that you sign up for, so attendance really is mandatory in this class. 3 pop quizzes will both encourage and reward you for doing the readings and attending class. Readings have been selectively chosen in order to give you broad foundational knowledge of the topics we're going to be discussing more deeply in class. So it's really important that you guys all do your reading for this class prior to entering the class so that you have the information in your head, and then once we start to talk about it, you're like, hey, that makes sense to me. Oh, I got what she's talking about there. If you don't know what we're talking about, you're not going to get as much from the class. You're going to have 3 pop quizzes. These pop quizzes equal 10 points each. You need to at least get 25 points to get full credit. If you get the whole 30 points, those 5 extra points will be added as extra credit to your grade, okay? Sometimes I give hints when the pop quizzes are going to be, sometimes I don't. It's just really important that you're doing your reading for the class so that you understand, okay? It's an interesting book. This is the book we'll be reading, I Never Knew I Had a Choice, by Corey and Corey. They're a husband and wife team who wrote this book together, and it's just so good. I mean, it's not going to be dense like the other books you have. This one you're going to get a lot out of. The other students who have taken this course with me before have told me that they've really enjoyed this reading. We talk about it before class starts or right when class is starting, kind of what did you get from the reading, and there's a lot of positive feedback that comes from this. So I hope you enjoy it. Please read Chapter 1 for next class session, okay? So to finish our letter, it says, and this is true, my promise to you, all of my students who I don't get to see today, but I can't wait to meet. My promise to you is if you are willing to actively participate in my class, in this class that we're about to join in together, this will be an exceptional class in your college career. This is going to be a class that you remember. This is going to be a class that these skills are applicable to you right now. As we're reading, you're going to be sending me emails telling me, oh my gosh, Professor DeWoody, Instructor DeWoody, when we learned about relationships, I really started thinking about my own relationship, and am I in authentic love or inauthentic love? I went through this slideshow with my boyfriend, and we learned some things about each other. When I talk about parenting styles in my childhood, you're going to be able to apply that and say, wow, you know, how was I raised? How has that affected me? It's all really, really interesting things, guys, and I'm so excited that you're going to be taking this class with me. We are going to have an awesome, awesome time. So welcome to Psych 115. I am Professor DeWoody, and I very much look forward to meeting and getting to know each of you. So let's just do a quick overview of our syllabus. If you'll turn to page 1, we're looking at course objectives. So our class has 3 primary objectives, okay? So the number 1 objective of this class is to better understand personal growth throughout the lifespan. So this class is really looking from birth all the way into old age, or all the way actually until death. So although most of you are freshmen and sophomore, and you're probably, see my kitty in the background? You're probably between 18 and 22, majority of you. This is a really important time because young adulthood is a time of expansion, of learning new things, of kind of developing yourself and deciding who you are, what's important to you, what your value system are. All of that we're going to be talking about, but we're also going to be looking at earlier life and how our parenting has affected us, how us as future parents, how what we are going to do is going to affect our kids. So we're really seeing the role that the person we are in life, how that affects other people around us and how that affects our life. This whole class is about I never knew I had a choice. That's the name of our book. And so if we're thinking about it, I never knew I had a choice. There's a lot of things that we think we don't have control over in our lives, or that they've been decided for us, or our life started out one way and it's going to end another. And what this book is really saying, and what this class is really trying to encourage you or let you know, the wisdom that we're trying to expel, is you do have a choice in a lot of different things, a lot of different areas that perhaps you didn't ever know you had a choice in. So that's what we're really going to be going over in this class. Excuse me, and learning how to make healthy choices for yourself and make good choices for yourself, so that you're living a life that you really love, and you're living a life that feels good for you and you know you're happy with. That's really what this class is about, okay? Number 2, I don't want to be on this video very much longer, so let's go. Okay, number 2 is to expand self-awareness and explore choices available to you in significant areas of your life. This is a personal class because you'll be encouraged to examine the choices that you have made and how these choices affect your present level of satisfaction. You are invited to consider the value in learning about oneself, others, and personal growth through the application of psychological principles. Very similar to what I was just talking about. And number 3 is we want to enhance current and or build new skills in managing stress, time, and other demands in college life. So there will be chapters on how do I manage my stress, my sleep, my health, my relationships, friendships, things like that that are really going to be applicable to right now. By entering into this material, there's a plane, hold on. Okay. So by entering into this material, you'll expand your self-awareness and lead a more powerful, choice-filled life by having done so. I can't tell you enough, this class is something you want to enter into. This class is not something you just want to come to class. In fact, I don't think you're going to be able to just come to class and not be thinking about everything we're talking about, and not just be like hearing people's stories and be blown away and be so excited. This will not be a normal class for you. It really will not be. Let's talk about course grading and requirements. So this course has the 3 pop quizzes that we already talked about. They're going to cover the reading that was assigned for that week. So like if I gave you one next week, which I'm not because you have a syllabus quiz due, but if I were to, maybe I will. You better do your reading. Chapter 1 next week. There might be a pop quiz. So if there was a pop quiz next week, it would be on chapter 1. The next week, I think we cover chapters 2 and 3, so the following week you would need to come with chapters 2 and 3 read. I might pop quiz you, and then I would lecture on that material. So it's to make sure you know the material before we get going, okay? There has been studies done. There are benefits of pop quizzes. My class did benefit last quarter from reading and doing the pop quizzes, because they knew some of the questions that were going to be on the test. They knew the kind of questions I was asking, and they were up on the reading, so they were comprehending so much more. Rather than trying to study and like cram it all in at the end, you really have an opportunity to take it in piece by piece and kind of fit it together. And by doing that, you're going to get a better score on your test. And you're going to get a better score, and you might get extra credit in your pop quizzes. So, yay. There's one 10-point syllabus quiz. The syllabus quiz is due to me next Tuesday during class. It is on the last page, the last page of this syllabus. It's asking some questions about if you're to have a problem in class, or if you miss a class, what should you do? When is your extra credit due to me? Yes, there's extra credit. Questions like that, things that you really need to know, and it lets me know that if I didn't go through the syllabus thoroughly enough for you, that you went through it yourself as a college student and you found the right answers and you know what to do, okay? So there's going to be a 10-point syllabus quiz that's due next session. And every day that it's late, it loses 10%, so 1 point. So if it's 3 days late, you're going to lose 30%. You can get up to 7 points, okay? There's one 20-point art assignment, one 50-point midterm, and one 50-point final. So let's talk about the midterm and the final. I don't know how many questions they are. I never know how many questions they are. I make them up, and they're usually somewhere around 70 questions, and it's a 50-point total. So they're weighed less than a point a question, which means you can miss extra questions and still be getting a good grade. Oftentimes they're not skewed, or they're not I don't know why I can't think of the right word right now, but those you should try to do as well as you can, always. It's not likely that I'm going to be taking away points. If there's a question or two that just everybody missed it, then yeah, I'll probably end up dropping that and talk about it in class. But if a majority of people, or even 30% of people are getting it, it's telling me that some people are comprehending the material and some people aren't, and I'm not going to take the question away. Okay? But you'll have practice. If you come to lecture also, at the end of some of my slides, there's sample questions that will be on the test, so it's important that you kind of catch those at the end. Also, some of the pop quiz questions will also be on the test. Let's see. So we have a midterm and a final. You need a big blue Scantron for that, so the big one, okay? The big blue and a pencil on our final and our midterm day, okay? There's a warning here. There's more material than can be covered in lecture. I do a really good job trying to get through the material. We have so much material to get through, and I'm so passionate about it. It's kind of hard to get through all the material. I'm not covering everything that's in your book in lecture, but there are things that are in your book that's going to be on your test, and so again, it's very important that you're doing your reading, okay? Approximately around 20% of the questions that are going to be on the exam are something I didn't talk about in class, or maybe I just mentioned it, but the idea is more fully explained in your book. Something that's really great about my class, this class in particular that you decided to take, is that I do give out a study guide. It's not extensive. There might be 30 items, and it will say parenting styles. Well, there's 4 parenting styles, so you need to know all of them. It'll say Adler, who's one of the therapists that we're going to learn about next week. And so you need to be able to say, oh, okay, Adler, like, what did she say about him? So it lets you know pretty basically, and if it's not on the study guide, don't worry about it. But if it's on the study guide, you kind of need to know the whole idea. I don't give very specific, I just say, here. But some of the other classes don't, so yay, you picked the right class. Well, maybe you did, maybe you didn't, but I think you might have. We'll see. Okay, something else we're doing this quarter, which was so awesome last quarter, is an expressive art assignment, okay? So basically what it is we're going to meet this therapist. Her name's Natalie Rogers. We're going to meet her. Well, we're not really going to meet her, but we're going to learn about her. And she had this idea of expressive art therapy. So she had this idea that sometimes we're unable to say what's going on for us, or what we're kind of repressing, or this piece of us that we deny, or maybe we had something in our childhood that we can't talk about, but it's really affected us. And so she kind of has this idea that we can express it through art, even if we can't speak to it. And so that's what our assignment's about. It's worth 20 points. You can use whatever medium you want. You can draw. I had people write a poem last time, paint, pen, whatever. So cool. I mean, really, really, really beautiful things that came out. If you're not an artist, do not worry about it. I'm not an artist. I can't expect you to do something I have no idea how to do. That is of no importance to me, okay? What's important is that you're expressing and that you're really taking time to think about this. If it looks like it's thoughtful work, you're going to be getting credit for it, okay? So I don't want you worrying, I'm not a good artist, I don't know what to do. Not important. Not important. What's important is that you're actually expressing, and I'll give you some examples before it's time to turn that in, okay? On the back side of that, you're going to write some things for me. So maybe you used a lot of red. You're going to tell me what that red means. Maybe you drew something like a tiger with these really crazy eyes. I want to know what's behind those tiger's eyes, what's going on there, okay? We'll talk more about it. It's so weird that you can't, like, I can't say, okay, any questions, you know, blah, blah. I hope that you're feeling me and this isn't seeming too strange. Pop quizzes, we've already talked about. What we do need to talk about, if you miss a pop quiz, there's kind of this weird thing. If you email me in the morning or before our class starts and say, hey, I'm not coming, my mom needs me to drive her to the hospital, whatever, and you can provide me proof of what happened, and it's not just like, hey, I'm in bed and I'm not coming, I'll let you retake that pop quiz for 5 points if you email me before class starts. If you email me during class or after, I feel like somebody's been like, hey, dude, you should have been in class today. We had a pop quiz. No, no, because you really do need to be in class. It's quite important that you're in class. if we do reschedule for you to make that pop quiz, it needs to be within that same week. And it's kind of hard because I'm a therapist as well and I'm not on campus all the time. But we're going to work as best we can to try to work out a schedule, but sometimes it may have to be in the evenings or something like that where we can meet on campus, okay? We're at 15 minutes. We got to get out of here in 2 minutes, so let's go. You have an extra credit journal. I don't have the current syllabus in front of me, actually. I believe that your extra credit journal is up to 5 points. You're going to write an extra credit journal entry. I got tons of them last quarter. It was so awesome. Everything's confidential. I want to say the expressive art assignment's confidential as well, just so you know. Anything personal you're turning into me as a therapist, I know about confidentiality. I know how private those things are. I am so, so thankful that you would share it with me, or that you would feel comfortable enough to share it with me. And I'm not going to tell anybody else. I'm not going to show it to anybody. It's going to be kept just with me, and it can be given back to you, okay? That's the same with extra credit journals. So you have this opportunity to keep these extra credit journals. And basically, after you do some reading, maybe you read about, I don't know, friendship or relationships, whatever we're going to talk about, or maybe you came to the lecture and you liked it and there was something you didn't know, you can write in your journal about that. It really helps you expand on the material. So if we're looking, it's your opportunity to take what you learn and connect it to your life and deepen and extend your understanding through use of the journal. So maybe you read about something and you want to talk about your boyfriend. It's really a place to process. Maybe you want to talk about your sister, your mom, yourself, your doesn't matter. It's just a time to take that information and really make it your own, okay? So those journals are a great opportunity for you, and I hope you take advantage of it. It was really helpful for the people who did take advantage of it. I think it has the opportunity to raise your grade about 4%. So maybe you're on the cusp of a B minus, you can end up with a regular, a B plus, you can end up with a regular A, which would be outstanding. Let's see. Of course, I'm going to go over our statement of diversity for the campus. It's not just for the campus, but it's absolutely for our class. This class is one that you guys are going to share in. You're going to tell different stories. I'm going to be telling my own stories or making up stories, giving you all kinds of examples. And so it's really important that we have a safe atmosphere. That if you disagree, and I would love you to disagree. I would love you to disagree. I love if you disagree. I promise you I love if you disagree. If I'm talking about something and you're saying, hey, Instructor DeWoody, I see that a little bit differently, and let me tell you how I see that. I would love to enter that conversation with you. Same if your classmate says, blah, blah, oh, I think guys are this way, and you want to respond and say, you know what, I've had a different experience. But there's a way to do it that's still showing respect and saying, okay, you can have your view, and I have a view of my own. To attack somebody or to make it uncomfortable and say, you don't know what you're talking about, we can't have that in our classroom. It will not be tolerated. It will not be allowed. I would love you to argue with me, but I can't have you saying like, yo, girl, that's not how I see it. You're so wrong. You're an idiot. No, don't do that to me. Don't do that to your classmates. So we're committed to diversity, okay? I like to play a lot of different roles for you guys to kind of act out different people. I don't know. I think it's helpful. You might think it's crazy. In our community, our commitment to diversity, we welcome people from all backgrounds, and we seek to include knowledge and values from many cultures in the curriculum and extracurricular life on campus. So when I'm talking as well, I might be talking about partners, I might be talking about boyfriends, girlfriends, same-sex marriages or same-sex relationships. I'm going to try to talk about as much as I can, as much diversity, because we really want to embrace it. It's something that I'm committed to in this classroom and something we're committed to as a whole on the campus. Course policies, we'll go through really quickly. Exams, arrive on time for your exam. If you're more than 15 minutes late, you may not be permitted to take the exam. Makeup exams, you can read. Basically, you need to give me documentation and let me know beforehand if you're not going to make it. I need to have a doctor's note. I need to have something from Les Schwab saying your tire had to get fixed. I don't care. I need you to do that, okay? Missing class. If you should miss a class, contact your fellow students to find out what you missed. Please do not contact me and ask me, excuse me, what did I miss? Excuse me, I need you to go look on Blackboard. You weren't in class. I can't help you. I can only help you if you have a specific question. If you have questions, email me. So excited. We will use Blackboard. Things are going to be tracked. If there's any grade discrepancies, while it's never my intention, things sometimes do get misentered into Blackboard. If that's to happen, you need to make sure you let me know, and there's a specific date listed here, okay? So the last thing we're going to cover, I guess, two things. I don't see the number 1. There's a cell phone policy. Oh, I don't see the cell phone policy in here, but I know it is. Oh. I don't know, but we'll just start or finish with this, okay? Courteous student conduct. Students are expected to be respectful to other class members and the professor by adhering to the following. Remain quiet in class unless making a contribution, and contribution is anything you share with us. Somebody always gets something. If you have the question, somebody else might have had the question. If you share a story, someone might be like, hey, how could I apply that? Or how does that sound similar to what my brother's going through, what I'm going through? Things like that, okay? So I love when you make contributions. I'm so thankful when you do. Please, I encourage you to do that. Arrive on time to class. If you have to leave early, please sit near the door and don't interrupt the class when you leave. And then emails sent to me should be addressed properly and signed with your first and last name. So if your email is sent to me and it's like, hey, I was just wondering, thanks, and it doesn't have your first and last name and it doesn't address me like, hey, good morning, Instructor DeWoody, I'm going to send it back to you and I'm not going to answer it. And I'm not that good at checking my email. I might only do it once a day. So it's really important, if you want that answered promptly, you probably want to make sure that you address it properly. Something we forgot to go over was at the very beginning, and it's right here, and here's my email listed here, and then it says, when emailing, you need to put your name and your Coyote ID in the subject line, so that lets me know that I need to open it right away. So the last thing then today is about the cell phone policy. I don't know where it is, but basically what it is because of distractions, cell phones are not allowed in the class. If you have your cell phone out, I'll probably say something just like, hey, what are you doing? Do you have your cell phone right now? And you'll be like, and everyone will look at you, and then you'll probably put it away. So cell phones are distracting. Computers are very distracting. If you're going to use a computer, whether you're Facebooking or not, which I hope you're not, but if you are, you need to sit in the back 2 rows of the class each time. You cannot be in the front because it's so distracting for other people who are sitting behind you and watching what you're doing. It's not. It's uncourteous and it's not happening in the class, okay? I think that's all. Instructor Freeman is going to take roll now. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me. I will see you next Tuesday. Do not forget that your syllabus quiz is due. And again, I'm so sorry I couldn't be with you today, but I'm very, very excited to be getting to meet you. Take care. Bye-bye.